Hello and good morning. Thanks for joining me. Today is 18th day of October 2024. Today is Friday. And this evening we have to discuss a lot of things that is bothering me, and I believe is bothering so many people who are living in this country, Nigeria. Many international news media are reporting that the bandits, the terrorists, are already purchasing homes in Kano State. They're already purchasing homes from around the nation. Why are they purchasing homes? Why are they buying houses? Why are terrorist bandits beginning to buy houses? Because these people have come to realize that their next step will bring so many doom into this nation. So from the bushes now, they are buying homes. And their mission also indicates that when they mix with the people, it will be very difficult for you to identify them. Before we go into that details, I want us to, to look at this because it is troubling, so troubling. So let us understand the report from this first post.
And shifting focus to Nigeria now. Nigeria's second largest city, Kano, is on high alert as several criminals are reportedly on the loose. Authorities in the northern city are worried as they have received intelligence about an influx of criminal gangs and bandits. Now, these bandits have reportedly fled their epicenters where they were operating after a crackdown by the Nigerian military. For years, these bandits have terrorized parts of northwestern central Nigeria. They have looted villages, burned homes and killed people, and conducted mass kidnappings. The Nigerian military in recent weeks launched extensive operations against. The offensives have led to the killing of several kingpins to escape from this crackdown. Now, the bandits are running from their epicenters like those in the states of Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, and Niger, and are now turning to Kano as their safe haven. But why are the bandits running to a city so far from their epicenter? Authorities in Zamfara, one of the states from where the gangs have escaped, have shared a document to the authorities in Kano. As per the leaked document, the bandits have been buying houses to use as an escape route for themselves as well as their leaders and their families. Now, this is not the first time that criminals will be using such tactics in Nigeria. In 2009, Boko Haram terrorists used a similar plan to escape a military crackdown. Several terrorists relocated from their epicenter in the northeast to the commercial city of Kano. They began buying houses on the outskirts of the city, and a few years later, Kano was rocked by targeted killings, suicide, and explosive attacks, which killed and injured hundreds of residents. The residents fought back by giving information to security personnel about suspicious new residents. The information was used to carry out security raids and to arrest that ended the attacks. So Kano could be bracing for a similar nightmare. The city authorities do not have specific knowledge about how many bandits have moved to the city, but they have reportedly identified 6 neighborhoods where criminals are buying houses and settling with their families. Authorities say that they are working quietly to avoid creating panic in the city, which is home to around 4.5 million people. Terrorism and banditry are the core of Nigeria's security crisis. For nearly 15 years, civilians in Nigeria have faced multiple security threats, like explosive attacks, kidnappings, lootings, and rapes. Hundreds and thousands have been killed and millions have been displaced. And the Nigerian government has relied on both the national police and military to counter the crisis. But so far, successes have been limited, and many Nigerians continue to live in fear and terror.
All right. Thanks for joining me. Good morning if you are just joining now. What we are discussing this evening is that since our news medias, they fail to be reporting what is going on, I think it is very, very important that the international news medias are reporting about it. You know, when we continue to report about the insecurity challenges in Nigeria, a lot of people think that, oh, we are just trying to exaggerate it. We are just trying to, make people to hate Nigeria. No, that is not the purpose. If you are thinking that the reason why we report about insecurity, talk about bad things going on in Nigeria is for you to hate Nigeria, that is not the purpose. The purpose is to unfold the truth, because Nigeria is paying the price of falsehood. The other day, I talked about why Nigeria must continue to pay the price of falsehood, because there is no country that lives on falsehood. Now, look at what First Post is reporting, that the bandits are using a new method to hide themselves, to hide their family. These people have been in Nigeria for so many times. They have been in Nigeria for so long. So what they have now is that they have families. They have, people around them. They are already growing. What they are doing now, remember, these people were not Nigerians. So what they are doing now is that they are relocating from where they are terrorizing, going to Kano State. When they get to Kano State, what they are now doing is that they are buying houses in Kano State. They are buying houses in Kano State. Why are they buying houses? For them to keep their families. Why they are terrorizing in Katsina, Kaduna, Benue, Plateau State. They keep their family afar in Kano. Our news media, our mainstream media like Channels Television, TVC News, Arise News is not spared. All of them, nobody is reporting about all these things that are going on. Is it not a shameful thing that all the way from India, the news reporters are reporting about what is going on in Nigeria, and none of Nigerian news media is reporting it? That is a shameful thing. And that is why we will continue to expose the truth. We must continue to tell people about the truth. We must continue to make sure that people must know the truth. Lies cannot continue to go on. People have been lied to. Nigeria have been living on falsehood. So there are a lot of things we are going to discuss tonight. Stay with me.
We need not run away from the fact that more than ever before in the history of our nation, this is the worst instability we are facing. In fact, this is worse than the Civil War. Mr. President, the solution is very simple. Today, there are a lot of misgivings, a lot of misinterpretations of what is happening. Some people believe some people in government are supporting this move. Some people believe some people sponsor those who are destabilizing our nation within the country. The answer is very simple. We cannot pretend that we are capable of confronting the situation in our hands. America, as powerful as they are, when the pandemic came, it got to a point that China had to claim that they came to their rescue. We shouldn't pretend that we needed foreign support now. Let nobody deceive us, Mr. President. A lot of billions of naira have been posted for security services. Nothing is coming out of it. We wouldn't wait until our nation gets formed. Let us shout and call for foreign support. I am a APC man and I've been supporting my party. But the president should get to know that it has gotten to a point that we who are supporters, who are members of the APC, we can no longer keep quiet. The president must rise to the occasion. You know why I say we you not see the truth and you are afraid to say something like that? We must open, Mr. President. The nation is on fire. The president must rise to the occasion. It costs us nothing to get foreign support. We must rise to the occasion. We must bring in people to save this country, or else we will consume. Every one of us will have a chapter for history. Whenever the history of this period will be written, whatever is our position, we have a chapter. We cannot keep quiet any longer. It has gotten to a point that we cannot sleep with our two eyes closed. We are not free. Our children are not free. The president must rise to the occasion. There is no nation that is so powerful that doesn't need support of other nations. Individuals cannot say you will leave the war without any other person with you. So we must rise. The situation is our security system has collapsed. It has failed. And because it has failed, we need to look for foreign support. It costs Nigeria nothing. Forget the ego, forget the superiority of Nigeria in African nation. Today, we are facing serious problems. If our nation is to survive this period, I'm not in doubt that the security architecture we have today cannot cope with what we are facing. Every part of this country is threatened. From the north to the south, nobody is safe. Nobody can travel 50 kilometers in our nation. I feel like shedding tears for a country that we grew up, where nobody harass you when you travel from Lagos to Maiduguri. I done it in time past. Today I cannot travel from here to Kaduna to Niger State where I was born. The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation. This is my position, Mr. President. We must rise for it. They are killing people in the east, in the west, in the south, in the north. We should shut down the National Assembly. Let's shut down. If we cannot save this country, we stay in our homes. Our country is bleeding. People are in poverty.
That was Sam Adeyemi, the senator representing Kogi State Central. If this man was raising an arm in 2020, what about today? If this man was raising an arm in 2020, what about today? Unfortunately, we are living in a country that has been sold out. Nigeria has been sold out unless Nigeria will come to the truth that we are not one, that we are brothers that are not meant to be in one country. Now, you know the reason why I was emphasizing on this First Post report, the report from Indian, that the bandits, the terrorists are buying houses in Kano State to hide their family. I am telling you people that these people are ready for the worst. I've never seen where these people begin to buy houses. First of all, who gave them money to buy houses? After all, it's the government, right? It's the government that gave them money to buy houses. So a lot of things has been going on, and following the disappearance of the president and vice president and so many cabinets of Tinubu, most of them are not in Nigeria, people are already protesting, saying, let the military take over. But I continue to tell people that for me, in my own opinion, I'm entitled to my opinion, you're entitled to your own, that military has been infiltrated with terrorists. Terrorists have infiltrated the military. So, you know, military takeover is not the best solution now. But what are we to say? Here is Ibadan. Listen to what people are doing.
Tinubu must go. We want Nigeria army to take over. We want Nigeria army to take over Nigeria. I don't know why they are afraid. Why they are afraid, we don't know. We want Nigeria army to take over Nigeria. 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 Nigeria army to take over Nigeria. Nigeria army to take over Nigeria. Make una take over Nigeria. Make una take over Nigeria. Make una take over Nigeria. So far done too much. 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 Nigeria army take over. So far too much. So far too much. Nigeria army take over. So far too much. Tinubu must go.
All right. Do you remember at the time where the chief of army staff made an announcement that if anyone come out to say military should take over in Nigeria, that they are going to arrest the person? So after making the statement, people hear him right. So what happened there is that place you are seeing is in Ibadan. So what happened is that people block the military vehicle. They block them, asking them to take over, that the suffering is too much. But let's come to look at this. If not because of the terrorists that have infiltrated Nigeria, let us compare the military regime and the so-called democracy we have today. The whole refineries we have in Nigeria were built under the military regimes. All this mainland bridge you see they are painting today, they were built by the military. Everything you see in Nigeria, road safety, They were done under the military regime. Under the military regime, Naira was competing with dollar. Under the military regime, I didn't say there is no corruption. I didn't say there is no, bad things like restricting the freedom of speech. But compare and contrast both of them, you will come to realize that the military regime is far better. But today you can't boast of military regime because of the terrorists that have infiltrated it. I know that when people look at Burkina Faso, they look at Niger, they see how the young men of these countries are transforming the countries. It will trigger your emotion believing that the same thing could happen to your country. It's just my opinion. I don't really know. Let me know what you think about it if you think that military regime is a better option for you. So today, as we are discussing, we are going to open our line on time. Our line is open as I speak to you. So you can call in or use the StreamYard link there to join me live and let us discuss this issue. The issues I want you to discuss with me, the issue I want people to air their opinion with me is the issue of the terrorists buying houses in Nigeria. And look at, this is a top information. This was supposed to be unclassified information. The reason why I say this is supposed to be unclassified information is because people in this country, I mean the mainstream media, they are not aware of this, or sorry to say, they are aware, they don't want to report it. But here we are. Many international news media are just publishing it. I saw another newspaper yesterday, an Italian newspaper that was reporting about the insecurity challenges in Nigeria and how the politicians are doing what? Are sponsoring the insecurity. Now, you people know Ribadu, right? There is something Ribadu said. Very important. Look at what he said. Many arms used by terrorists belong to the federal government. Many arms used by terrorists belongs to the federal government. Now, I want you people to understand what this man is saying. That the arms that the terrorists are using, that it belongs to the federal government. So what are we going to do? Ribadu is the National Security Advisor. I hope you people know the man who is making this information. This is a very vital information, so that you will not say it is Okocha that said it. So this is not Okocha. This is your National Security Advisor, Ribadu. Daily Post is the newspaper that published it. He says many arms used by terrorists belong to the federal government. Remember that recent days, one of the top government officials went to America to tell them that the proliferation of arms from Libya with the porous border in Nigeria, that is the reason why insecurity is increasing. But here is the National Security Advisor countering it. He said many arms used by the terrorists belong to the federal government. Now, who gave the guns to the terrorists? How did the federal government release these guns to the terrorists? The other day, the repentant Boko Haram, they made away with the weapons that they bought with them, because they were, Nigeria, they were playing games that are not necessary. They bought them vehicles, they bought them, ammunition, they bought them so many things. And they made away with the guns and the weapon. And here is the National Security Advisor telling you that the weapons that the terrorists are using in this country was donated or is from the federal government. So how do we stop this? How do we be? Is already beyond repair. First of all, before I made you people to understand that people who form Boko Haram are still in the federal government. They are still walking up and down like Ademodu Sheriff and Kashin Shetemada. So I'm trying to connect dots from what National Security Advisor, and let me tell you people, if Nigeria is supposed to be a country, if Nigeria is a country, this statement alone will cause revolution. Let me give you an example. In America, a National Security Advisor or the Chief of Pentagon officer, the top or the FBI chief, FBI commander will come out and say the weapons Iran are using was donated, or the weapon terrorists are using in America was donated by the federal government, by the Biden administration or Trump administration, that day America will turn upside down. They will remove them. There will be riot. There will be crisis that day. These are the people who knows what they are doing. Nigeria don't know what they are doing. Or let me use Israel as a country to you. You see how Israel is fighting insecurity. Maybe one day, what is it called? Israel Defense Force, IDF commander will come out and say, Netanyahu's government is the one who supplied Hamas weapon. They will kill the prime minister that day. No mercy, they will kill him. But here are we. Here we are. We are dumbs. We don't know what we are doing. The National Security Advisor is telling you people that the arms the terrorists are using, that it came from the federal government. And everyone is just keeping quiet as if nothing is happening. It's so pathetic, so fortunate. And I'm not surprised hearing it from him. Remember that when we were doing series of exposing people who were sponsoring the insecurity in Nigeria, we played the video of the current Zamfara state governor who was indicting the present chief of defense staff under Tinubu, Minister of Defense. So he was indicting him that he's a bandit, not because he sponsored bandit alone, but he's a bandit, he's a terrorist. So after that, a lot of people, in Nanya Baribe, a lot of people made so many revelations. And up till now, Nigerians are not reacting. So let me know why Nigerians are not reacting. Give me a call or you can join me live. Let's have our first caller. Hello. Yeah, good morning, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, how you doing, Mr. Okocha?
I'm very fine. And you?
I'm fine. I know it's been a while we spoke,
Yeah. Kindly tell the viewers your name and where you are calling from, if necessary.
Yeah, this is Ben. I'm calling from US.
Thank you so much for joining us. You have the mic.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, before I start, I hope you're feeling good now.
Yeah.
Something
I am strong. I'm strong now.
Thank God. Yeah. Let me react to the statement you. Was it the chief security or something like that? You said something about the Boko Haram, the arms they have. It's from the government.
Yeah, that is Rebado.
Rebado.
Yeah, you know whom Rebado is, right? The National Security Advisor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nigeria, it's just obvious. I would say everything that is happening is just a manifestation of a failed country.
Of course.
You understand? Yeah, it's not just new. Everything that is happening, you can tell. First of all, I was trying to tell you the military. You understand? The military, they are not fighting Boko Haram.
Okay.
They are very, very complicit. They are complicit.
That is for sure.
You understand?
That is
if you ask me what is my opinion, I will tell you that the military are putting Boko Haram. If you ask me, why? Because why can you tell me that as a military chief of staff that you convert Boko Haram into army? And it's normal. When something goes wrong and nothing happens to you, and nothing happens to the rest of them, of course, you take what's it called? People, taxpayers' money. They use in buying arms for you to fight insurgents. You allow them to take those arms and they do away with them. And nothing has happened to him. Nobody has called him to question. You understand? And everything is just going normal. And they want to come to Southeast. Focus on Southeast. I think that it's a deliberate act. by putting Boko Haram into the military. It was a deliberate act. Everything was planned. If you ask me, this is my own opinion, okay? So if you ask me, I will tell you that everything was deliberately done. How come the military, they are leaving armor tank for Boko Haram just like that?
That is a big question.
That was not the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But when they leave armor tank in Biafra land, they will come and throw bomb. How come they don't know how to throw bomb? Where these people, they are camp. You understand? So when I see everything happening, I'll tell you, Okocha, this is just evidence of a failed state. When they say there was a country, there was a country. There's no more country anymore.
Yeah.
That's why we are all praying for Biafra to come. As quickly as Samuel Ekpa is talking about December, we want Biafra to come this October and November. Nigeria is a dead country. And in Nigeria, you understand?
Yeah, and the other side of it is that it's not only Biafra. Everybody just want to leave this country. Everybody just want to leave so that we can start in life. Because this is not in life.
I know. I'm telling you, Okocha, these whole people, they need to catch all of them in prison. This is a whole gang of people. And the people that is causing this mayhem in Nigeria, they are not even up to 1 million of them. Destroying over 200 and something million Nigerians. You understand? It's a shame. You know, I just pray that one day, you understand, these people will start to realize, you see, some country, if it's in some country,
you have 1 minute
because
left.
Nnamdi Kanu yes, in some country, because Nnamdi Kanu have actually opened everybody's eye, there will be a strong revolution from even the northern people that is feeling this heat, from the Yoruba, from everywhere. There will be a strong revolution. That way they will release Nnamdi Kanu overnight. But Nigeria is destroyed. My brother,
so sad.
I pray that Biafra will come as quickly as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate.
Yes.
All right, let's have our next caller. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Okocha, how are you?
Fine.
Good morning on the side.
Thanks for joining us.
This is Madam Origin. As you can see, it looks like I don't have any other job. I have a job. I have job, but this is a time in our lives as a people in Nigeria that calls for emergency, and unfortunately, not many people know what is going on. And I tell everyone that if you're awake, please stay awake for your brethren. Pray, shout, scream, do all you can, and see how many lives that can be saved.
Oh yes.
Because the Bible says if you see wickedness, if you see evil and you don't speak out,
you become an accomplice.
If anything happens, God will require, So it is unfortunate that people don't really know a lot of what is going on. It is scary. It is unbelievable. I know your question is about the the people, the bandits that are beginning to buy houses. But let me say quickly, because I listened to your earlier post, which said that the Southeast politicians and the government the Senate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I am very sorry for them. I am really, really very sorry for them. They have lost in their integrity, and they know it. They have lost legitimacy, and they know it. They have lost the respect of the people of Igbo land. The people that, lost their families, that went through the horrors, are still alive. A lot are still alive. And I want to let them know, the only thing they have is immunity, and it is a useless immunity.
Oh, yes.
It is an empty immunity, because the only thing it protects them from the loot and the stealing while they are there. Other than that, by the time they come down from their political high horse and get down, they see that nobody is with them. So they are not representing the Igbo people. They are not at all. And whatsoever they are trying to do, it does not matter how they do their gimmicks. When they see people laugh, they are not laughing to greet them. They are laughing to mock them. That they are useless to Igbo. If what they are going there to do is to put a condition, how many of those of the others that came out, do they understand what agitation means?
For me, I don't think so.
What it is.
I don't think they understand.
So what they are just protecting is the useless money they are giving to them, because they are going there to collect money. That is blood money. You are collecting, they say, between 25 and 55 million a month.
Billion.
And you look at them, you don't see it anywhere in their lives. That kind of money, you say you want to protect your political career. From where to where? And I still say it that anyone that is in a political, it does not matter what they are doing there, the best thing for them is to resign and come back home.
Unfortunately, they will not resign.
The bandits. Sorry?
I said, unfortunately, they are not going to resign.
Yes, because to get there, that person will have sold their soul. They will have a typical person that is in the seat of government that has a position will have sold their soul. They are obsessed with the power they have gotten and the money they are receiving. That is all. Everything else, they are empty.
All right.
Go and check the antecedents.
What do you have to say about the bandit issue?
Well, it is what it is. What we are here today, it's all about the capture. And all these things we are calling bandits, where did it all come from? Is it not from the government?
Of course, 100%.
It's from the government.
100%.
So it's like a web, a spider web. And you see that everything, everywhere is captured. The police is captured. The army is captured. Judiciary is captured. And they're using bandits to terrorize people. So there is, except that all I'm advising is everybody, if you're under the sound of my voice, please organize your communities. Protect yourselves.
Very important.
Protect yourselves.
Very important.
If you see anything, don't rush to the police. Let me give you an example. If anything happens to, let's say, in your community, and you go and you call police, or your governor calls the police, or your governor cannot even call the police. The police will wait for Abuja to give them the go ahead to, capture the person.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, that same governor on his own can buy army and police to surround himself.
Mm.
He can buy bandits. He can
true.
organize bandits to. But he is not allowed to exercise his authority or to even have authority over the police
to protect his people.
Except he is going to use it against the people.
Mm.
If the governor calls, the people are, immediately they will release army and police to come and buy the people.
Mm.
But if they say the people are in trouble, terrorizing the call from now to their kingdom come, nobody is going to answer.
Mm.
No, they are not sending any police to save. They say we are waiting for. So everything is set up against the people. Unless you rally around, protect yourselves. Every community, don't depend on the government, whatever they are calling it, don't depend on it.
Mm.
Rally around, protect yourselves. I think one happened in Edo the other day. When they took care of themselves, the matter is settled and taken care of.
Mm.
That is the country that is on at the time.
Mm.
So all this, I still go back to the Southeast and the Southeast particularly, that are thinking that the ipob is more relevant than them. I'm not really into the details, but they are more. The people trust the village. Vigilante.
Yeah.
More than anything, they are scared of the government.
Right. That is right.
So they shouldn't come and be. And it's all about the money they are getting. I don't think they ever care. I don't think they do. I rest it there so that other people can talk.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate Madam Origin from America. Thank you so much.
That's my little contribution for my people. Everybody wake up, wake up. There is a very
there is fire on the mountain.
Thank you, Mr. Okocha, for all you do.
Thank you so much, man. All right. All right. Our last caller, Madam Origin from America, she says something that I want us to, to discuss. She said that when we have insecurity, for example, there are people who are kidnapping, who are terrorizing, the governor will not call police to rescue the people. The local government chairman, House of Rep member, senator, they will not call police to rescue the people. The police will not come to the aid of the people. But once the people are challenging the status quo, for example, they want to protest, they want to do all sorts of things, the governor will call the police and they will respond swiftly. This is the same thing we have been saying, that the government is against the people. You cannot respond swiftly to terrorists or to emergency calls, but once you hear that your own citizen is about to protest, your own citizen is about to do this, your own citizen is about to do another thing, police will respond against them. The military will respond against them. That is what Madam Origin is trying to say in this regard. And it's so pathetic, it's so bad. And that is why we are saying that even though it did not happen today, it must surely happen tomorrow. Everybody must wake up to the reality, wake up to wake up from that falsehood. We must awake from that falsehood. A lot of people are blind to the reality of things that are going on in Nigeria. A lot of people are blind to them. A lot of people don't even know what is going on. So many people believe that, oh, it's just because of the suffering. I say it, sign with that number, that people have been psycho-conditioned. People have been, they adapted to the suffering. They adapted to everything that is bad that is going on, and they have come to a conclusion that this is the way a country is supposed to be. Unfortunately, that is not the way a country is supposed to be. So unfortunate. That is not the way a country is supposed to be. But in Nigeria, it's totally a different case. I don't know how many times we are going to explain this for Nigerians to understand. I don't know how many times we are going to explain it. Because if you still see the way people are still, let me tell you the truth. You see, like Abia State today, Abia State, if APC want to do campaign, for example, APC, you will see millions of people will still gather in support of the government that is killing them. So these are the things we are talking about. Look at what happened in Edo State. People gathered for APC. It makes me to begin to think, people of Nigeria, are they really ready, or they like the suffering that is going on, or they like all this? Sometimes I find it difficult to think, to understand what is going on. Because this is more than suffering and smiling. This is more than suffering and smiling. When you have all proofs that your government are causing insecurity, you have all proofs that your government is the problem you're having, and you still continue to be with them, you still continue to rapport with them, you still continue to be with people who are killing you. And this is so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. Anyway, if you are just joining, at the beginning of this broadcast, we were saying something about the bandits who were buying houses to keep their family while they prepare to unleash mayhem on Nigeria. And I was saying that the mainstream media in Nigeria, they were not reporting this. But thank God for, Indian news media called First Post and WION. These two news media are always reporting what is going on in Nigeria, even when our news medias are silent about it. So for the interest of people who are just joining now, this is the story.
And shifting focus to Nigeria now. Nigeria's second largest city, Kano, is on high alert as several criminals are reportedly on the loose. Authorities in the northern city are worried as they have received intelligence about an influx of criminal gangs and bandits. Now, these bandits have reportedly fled their epicenters where they were operating after a crackdown by the Nigerian military. For years, these bandits have terrorized parts of northwest and central Nigeria. They have looted villages, burned homes and killed people, and conducted mass kidnappings. The Nigerian military in recent weeks launched extensive operations against. The offensives have led to the killing of several kingpins to escape from this crackdown. Now, the bandits are running from their epicenters like those in the states of Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna and Niger, and are now turning to Kano as their safe haven. But why are the bandits running to a city so far from their epicenter? Authorities in Zamfara, one of the states from where the gangs have escaped, have shared a document to the authorities in Kano. As per the leaked document, the bandits have been buying houses to use as an escape route for themselves as well as their leaders and their families. Now, this is not the first time that criminals will be using such tactics in Nigeria. In 2009, Boko Haram terrorists used a similar plan to escape a military crackdown. Several terrorists relocated from their epicenter in the northeast to the commercial city of Kano. They began buying houses on the outskirts of the city, and a few years later, Kano was rocked by targeted killings, suicide and explosive attacks, which killed and injured hundreds of residents. The residents fought back by giving information to security personnel about suspicious new residents. The information was used to carry out security raids and to arrest that ended the attacks. So Kano could be bracing for a similar nightmare. The city authorities do not have specific knowledge about how many bandits have moved to the city, but they have reportedly identified 6 neighborhoods where criminals are buying houses and settling with their families. Authorities say that they are working quietly to avoid creating panic in the city, which is home to around 4.5 million people. Terrorism and banditry are the core of Nigeria's security crisis. For nearly 15 years, civilians in Nigeria have faced multiple security threats, like explosive attacks, kidnappings, lootings, and rapes. Hundreds and thousands have been killed and millions have been displaced. And the Nigerian government has relied on both the national police and military to counter the crisis. But so far, successes have been limited, and many Nigerians continue to live in fear and terror.
All right. That was the report from the first post, and I am happy about this report. And more are about to come. More about to come about the plans of these terrorists, because there is a purpose why they are buying houses now. There is a purpose why they are relocating their families to Kano. So what the news media is saying, the most important thing she said during this broadcast is that these people are now buying houses in Kano. Remember that Kano is not the epicenter of terrorism in Nigeria. When you are going to talk about where the terrorists are, you talk about Katsina, talk about Southern Kaduna, you talk about the Plateau, Benue, Sokoto, Borno State, and so on and so forth. But what we are seeing now is that these people, they are relocating from all these places that evil are going on. They are relocating their families going into the Kano state. So why are they relocating their family? Because they have come to realize that also the time to run has come. The time to run has come. I want people to understand what I'm saying. The time to run has come. So they are relocating their family to, Kano State. And after the relocation, so that if the federal government is not chasing them, if the federal government is pursuing them, they will not run with their family. But thank God, for residents in Kano State who reported to the police and the military. And to my greatest surprise, the military and the police said they are not going to talk. That if they talk about it, if they raise an alarm, people will be afraid. Okay, why won't people be afraid when terrorists came to their community and start buying houses? And you know what that means? People will leave that community. I mean, people will leave that community very, very soon, because once these people have started buying houses, started bringing their families in, before you know, they will take over that community. That is their system. So it's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. So Nigerians are still sleeping. Nigerians are still sleeping. One of the story I love why I was, in primary school, they teach us CRK, and they teach, if you're a Muslim, they teach you your own religion. If you're a Christian, they teach your own religion when we were growing up. There is this story about, why the sowers, people who came to plant, they sow seed, they planted something. While they were sleeping, the enemy came and the enemy planted tares. The enemy planted weeds. So that is what is going on in Nigeria. All these terrorists, they have succeeded in planting weeds all over the country. Who is going to harvest, or who is going to separate the wheat from the original crops? And the time has come. I am telling you this, I'm making this information for you because this first post media and they were able to report it. These are international media, platforms. It's not from Nigeria. None of the media from Nigeria are reporting this. So these people are relocating their family because all those things that you have been hearing that they want to challenge Nigeria, they want to attack, they want to do this thing, the time has come. If you study criminology, or you have diploma in criminology, or even with that certificate, you are able to study criminology, you study counter-terrorism, you must have the logic to predict when criminals are about to strike. You must have the logic to understand that these people, you understand their mechanism of operation. And that is the secret I'm making to you at this moment. That these people, all they want to do is relocate your family out of where people know you and strike. That is what is going on. So it is important everybody should get prepared. Get prepared about what is about to happen. This is not to put fear in your body. It has been happening before our very own eyes. Churches were burned before our very own eyes. You remember what happened in Plateau State last December? It's about to turn to a year. Do you think that these people will not repeat the same thing? Think about it, where they kill so many people. About 40 distress calls were placed on military and police. They did not answer. None of them answered. For them, it's not important. Let's think about this. Reason about this. The police, the military, as we always tell you, they are companies. They know what they are doing. And that is why I'm telling you this message from Rebadu. And I am so much surprised to hear it from Rebadu that many arms used by terrorists belong to the federal government. Many arms used by terrorists belong to the federal government. This is so interesting. We have interesting time ahead, you know. Nigerians are sleepy. They don't know what is going on. They are sleeping. Don't know what is going on. The National Security Advisor is telling you that, come on, the arms that the terrorists are using, it belongs to us. You know, Nigeria, we joke too much. Somewhere we just come. The other day, Akpabio came. Akpabio said that, they are suffering in the land. Anywhere you see free food, you chop. He's Senate president. That is his solution. That is all he have to tell you. That is everything he knows about the solution to the problem of Nigeria. Anywhere you see free food, eat. Oh, Nigerians, when are we going to wake up? During the protest, Akpabio said, you people should be protesting. I will be at home. I will be drinking tea and be eating. They talk recklessly. They talk as if there is, as in, what kind of human beings are these? Anyway, let us return to our phone and receive the next caller. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Marcel.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Your name and where you are calling from?
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel, calling from UX.
All right, thanks for joining us.
So, yeah, well done, my brother. Your program is really enlightening us, and we appreciate that, you know.
All
it's
right.
Not everybody that can keep going.
All right. Let me use this opportunity to ask you a question. While you were watching, do you feel that the network is not strong? Do you see the video not clear? Because from my own point here, it seems as if it's not clear because of network.
No, it's clear. Sometimes it will break, but I think it's okay. It's good.
All right. Go on.
Yeah, so you're talking about why some of these guys have relocated to the towns and cities, right?
Yeah, relocating their families.
Yes. I think there might be a couple of parts to that relocation. This is my suspicion. So one is likely that they are relocating to be able to integrate them properly into the society. I don't think it's because of the heat in the jungle. I think it's because they're trying to integrate them properly into the society. And I think it might be going in accordance with it, probably infiltrating the military properly. And that is where the area I'm kind of trying to observe the whole, what the plan could be, future plans of what this whole thing is. So that is second. The third one is likely to create storage areas for them to store ammunition that's closer to the people.
Now, before you go forward, you just hit a point. You see, the girl that was broadcasting said this was the same mechanism Boko Haram used to defeat the military. She made mention of that. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so that is what I am insinuating that could be the future plan. Now, do you think that Nigeria can go their separate ways peacefully? I don't see that happening. Why do I say that I don't see that happening? You can see what what those in the helm of affairs are doing, but the state governors, the president, the vice president, they are doing everything to make sure that Nigerians do not go their separate ways. So eventually, Nigerians are going to be pushed to the point where the only solution would be war. And I see that coming. If you remember the last time I told you about protests, I said the best protest we can have is for everybody to sit at home and have a peaceful protest, because the Nigerian government does not abide by agreement. So I don't see any peaceful resolution to what is happening or what is going to happen. There is no peaceful resolution. I see that the only way people can have their freedom is to take it by force. That is it. Now that is one part. The other part, which nobody is reporting, and this is just based on my own, visual observation, is that there is natural resources in every region, if not every state of Nigeria. Yeah. But what you see is that they want to hang on to that
from the south, resources from the south.
Yeah, message that how can we separate Nigeria where we're only getting our crude oil and all that from the south, and how can we do that and then leave the other places in the dark? No, there is natural resources. There is crude oil in almost every region, if not every state.
That is right.
So what you see playing on is what they are trying to use to convince Nigerians that we need to be together, so we don't have to, so we don't suffer some other region just because we separated. And what you're also seeing is that they are hanging on to this conflict. The conflict called Nigeria, because they want to suck out the whole oil in the southeast and south. And by the time they are done with that, that's when they will now say, okay, now we are ready to separate. By that time, they've taken everything that
you think so?
I'm telling you, everything that I have told people in the past all have come to pass. That is what they are holding. That is what they are hanging on to. The day they run out of that oil, that's the day they tell you that they want to separate from Nigeria.
Okay, now what about the areas like Southern Kaduna, Benue State especially, Benue and Plateau State especially, where insecurity are ravaging, where people are dying, where their houses, has been deserted, they have chased people out of their ancestral homes. Those people, they are not reacting like people who have been wounded. I am trying to understand the way Nigerians react or the way Nigerians act. If it is another country, they can't keep quiet with all this mess going on. What do you have to say about that?
Well, when you look at what's happening in Nigeria, it's not because Nigerians don't want to react. The biggest issue Nigerians have is sentiment of, it's a tribal sentiment.
Okay.
Where they can see that something is bad. But once it involves someone from their tribe, suddenly they switch stand on that issue. Yeah. That's what's going on. It's not like Nigerians don't feel the pain of this hunger. It's not like Nigerians don't feel the pain of injustice.
It's not like they don't feel the pain of bad economic condition. It's not like they don't feel all these things. But if it's my own person that is going into power, suddenly the person who's complaining about how bad the economy is suddenly switches ground. And until we can look at ourselves and say, okay, why does it have to cost so much to just be alive? Why does it have to cause pain to be alive? That is when we will stop looking at, oh, it's my person that is going to
I want you to ask this question again. You've just said something that I want everyone watching us to ask themselves. Why must we cause pain, kill people for we to just have a life we are struggling with in Nigeria?
Exactly. So until people start really asking that question, why does it have to take pain to just be alive? Just going to work, but just to be alive in a country, in a world where the same people were not given a special privilege that God gave to them and say, hey, you just be in charge of everybody else. This is a free world that God has everything is fighting for. Where everything is free. And some decide, okay, we're going to hold on to it because we believe it's ours. Asking that question, that's when people will start to rise up and say, you know what? I will not let anyone, be it my family, be it a foreign entity, I will not let anybody stop me or hold me back or cause me pain. When we start thinking like that, that is when we can, if we truly want to be one country called Nigeria, that is when we can fix Nigeria. And the honest truth is that there is nothing wrong with Nigerians individually. Forget about all these differences we have when we argue about religion and tribe and all of this. These things are things that we're created by the politicians.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with Nigerians individually. But if we can start, once we can get to that point where we can understand that it shouldn't cost pain to be alive, believe you me, all these things will stop. All these things will stop. This is about, Fulanis, be afraid of Fulanis. What gives Fulanis the might to hold Nigeria to ransom?
It is the system.
It is a system. But the system is also controlled by human beings.
Of course.
Do you understand what it means when few thousands, less than 3,000 people in government is controlling 200 million people? Do you understand how weak it shows that the people are for only very few people to control us? Forget about the army. How many personnel do we have in the army barracks? The whole village in that area where the army barrack is enough to take on that very barrack. The problem is that people don't calculate. And we're not saying nobody is saying that we're doing that, but when you understand the power you have in your numbers, you realize that you only manipulated to feel like you cannot do anything. But we're not even getting to that point where we're saying we're going to attack. But we're saying, if we say we want to protest and we want to sit at home and protest, sit yourself at home. If you shut the country down in a month, nobody's going to come to your home to come and oppress you. Nobody is going to be afraid. Nobody is going to be no officer is going to have the power and the guts to come to your street,
Because now at that point, you're right in your own place and you are protecting yourself with whatever you have. Nobody's going to come there to come and force you out. I'm telling you, just with the protect, we can achieve, you know, we can achieve everything that we've been thinking about achieving for Nigeria. And if we want to go our separate ways, we can achieve the same thing too.
Yeah.
But until people start asking questions, brother, like
All right. You have exhausted your time.
Okay, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate.
All right.
All right, we have someone on the screen here, but we can't see the face. Mr. Solomon, as shown in your name. Good morning.
Yeah.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Sweden.
From Sweden? You have light in Sweden. Why you did? why you choose not to on your light? For security reasons?
Anyway, not just for security reasons. Let me put it up, chat.
Yeah, people have to see the person they are talking to. It's very important.
Okay. Just that I was just going to bed, so that is why.
Okay. I really understand.
Yeah.
Now we can see your face and we know who is talking to us and who we are talking to. So good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I always enjoy your program.
The vice president is in Sweden as I speak to you. So the vice president is in your country. And Tinubu is in France. They left us so rock empty.
I can't even understand. My own okay, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a question, but it's like you're about to talk about your own opinion about our broadcast, right?
Yeah, no, my own opinion about the vice president. I want just to throw this question to Nigerians. How many times have the Swedish president or prime minister went to Nigeria for visits?
Even for business and everything, you know, it is Nigerians that are always going out. We are beggars. Every time we are begging people to come and invest. But time with that number, I have made it clear to them. You don't beg investors to come. You make your country to be attractive. The investors will naturally come and invest because nobody wants to lose money. Nobody wants to invest where the naira is depreciating every day. So that is a problem.
So sometimes when we hear them coming to France, going to London for treatment or for holidays, I'm asking as well, how many times are the Europeans going to another European country or traveling to another continent for holidays as well? Are they not thinking?
That is an unfortunate situation. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Today, there is a trending news on the international space that the terrorists are buying houses in Nigeria, Kano to be precise, that they are about to relocate their families to Kano from the area's epicenter of terrorism.
Okay.
Now, remember that these people, time without number, they have prepared. They have prepared and they have vowed, as according to them, not me, they are going to challenge Nigeria. They are going to attack Nigeria. And these people, you know, they commute, they work together with the people, they call Boko Haram, but they are all one. They swap. They are one. Now, remember from 2015 till this year, there have been a lot of them that have been inducted into the military. They call them repentant Boko Haram.
Yeah.
Now, there was a news that broke some time ago that these repentant Boko Haram, that they flee with ammunition, they flee with, firearms. It was reported by Shara reporters, as you can see on the screen.
Yeah.
Say repentant Boko Haram militants flee with government-issued firearms, vehicles in Borno State. And these are the people that, they inducted. And not only that, day before yesterday in America, the chairman of Nigeria Financial Intelligence and, against all this crime, she was raising an alarm that the inflow of arms from Libya is dangerous, that it is alarming. And when you calculate everything that is going on with this news coming, that these people already relocating their families, buying houses for them, because they are about to do something and they know that it is battle to battle. So for them not to lose their family in the battle, they have to relocate them first. And that is the same strategy that Boko Haram used. So what do you have to say about this?
Well, anyway, the number one issue about all this shenanigans is, number one, the government, first of all, is already a failure since from the time Buhari came in. And there is no country in this world, only a country that don't want to survive. There is no country in this world that will allow terrorists, that will bring in terrorists into the security force. That you can't survive. So first of all, for Nigeria to be in the position it is today is because of that. And I don't think it's possible for these terrorists to go out from the military. They have already been infiltrated into the military. There is no way they can get out. So Nigeria, when you talk about Nigeria in some of the country, even in Sweden here, I'm telling you, my brother, to be frankly with you, I'm ashamed to call myself a Nigerian.
Why?
How can I say I'm a Nigerian? That's what how can I say that? It's not possible. I rather call, yes, of course, because sometimes people think that international community, most of the country in Europe, in US and Canada, all these countries, they don't hear the story of Nigeria. Sometimes if I come down to Nigeria, I'm telling them, this is what people regard Nigeria as. They don't believe that. But that's what you see. If you are going through the borders and you bring your Nigerian passport out, then you will see the humiliation. These are our leaders that travel sometimes with diplomatic passport because they know them already.
Yeah.
But individuals that travel from this country to another country, you will see humiliation. I'm part of the experience. One day I have a Swedish passport. I'm a Swedish citizen. So because I removed my Nigerian passport to show as a resident traveling to Nigeria, they told me to stay one side.
Serious?
I'm telling you. So when I came into Nigeria, I was asking the immigration man that I want to make a Nigerian resident permit, attaching with my Swedish passport, because I don't want to be holding Nigerian passport. It's a disgrace. I'm telling you, it's a disgrace to even have that passport. So that is my answer about all this terrorism and what you are seeing today in Nigeria. And can you imagine? We have military in Southeast beating and humiliating innocent people. But you don't have this same military in the north. They don't pump these people in the north to go and make sure that they clear that area out from this issue of Boko Haram and Bandit and or whatever you call them. So that shows you, number one, that the country is gone.
What do you have to say? Let me ask you the last question. What do you have to say about the government ruling us from exile? Because this is the government in exile now.
That one is a big shame. It's a very big shame, I'm telling you. Sometimes I use my the country I'm residing in, like I call it my country. Sweden is my country, because what I got from Sweden, I can never get that in no African country. I'm telling you. Like, as original citizen, I can't even get what I'm getting in Sweden. I can never dream of getting that in Nigeria. It's impossible.
There is no doubt about it. It's obvious. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So there's one more thing that I want to say, because one guy told, I listened to the last caller that was talking to you. That was what brought me in. He said that normally Nigerians doesn't have problem. I disagree with him. Nigerians have too many problems. Number one problem is the mentality of being together. Nigeria can never, ever, ever in this history be together. Even if you bring Jesus Christ, even if you bring the Europeans, Nigeria can never be together. Let me quote you one example. Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and Norway, they are like brothers. They almost share the same value and thinking. But because of that, because of the system, they have to go apart. But think about this country that I'm telling you. Think about these four countries. They are more, they think and they reason almost together. But they see that they cannot be together. So they have to separate themselves. Then think about Nigeria, that even in your own tribe, you don't reason together. Then think about bringing the whole of Nigeria together. It's like mixing egusi soup, ogbono soup, mixing different kind of thing, putting together and believe that people will come and eat that food. It's impossible. That is what Nigeria, that is how Nigeria is. So Nigeria have to divide through tribal lines. They have to divide Nigeria. Even if it takes Nigeria to divide more than 10 countries, it's more better. Then people will try to be thinking. But this system of Nigeria, my brother, we are just buying time, wasting time. People are dying more, and there is no way we can fix it. So for that brother to say that Nigeria doesn't have problem, if you allow Nigeria, no, that is wrong. I disagree with him.
Okay.
So that is my take of that. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, my brother. I really appreciate. That is a very sound opinion and explanation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I really like your program. I always follow you on your program all the time. Even if I didn't watch it, I will come back later and watch it. Watch your program.
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right.
This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. This constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items. 68 on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list. And those 12
are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those concurrent lists. That is why those who want unity and peace in Nigeria must first remember that the name of our republic is not just Nigeria. The formal name of this republic is Federal Republic of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we don't run a federalist system in Nigeria. Otherwise, what is so unique about all those things that are in the exclusive list? We used to have a parliamentary system, and then we wanted unity, we wanted peace, we wanted progress, and we therefore said we are going to go with a presidential system. Honestly, there are many presidential systems in the world that have peace and progress. I can't quarrel with that. But we must put in place the same safeguards that presidential system across the world put in place, so that you can have what it needs to run the society. In this chamber, we try to federalize the police system. In this chamber, we failed. We failed because we didn't summon the courage, the wisdom, the tenacity of purpose, and the vision, and the understanding of what is making nations across the world to work. A man from Otukpo was the DPO in my local government when I was chairman. The man did not speak Igbo in an Igbo local government. The man did not speak Yoruba in a Yoruba local government. Every crime is local, and the solution to every crime is local. The earlier that senators in Nigeria summon the courage to say, we should not continue to deceive ourselves.
All right, there is a very important point I'm going to explain in this video. That is why I allow it to play long like this. The man is saying that every ground is local and every problem must be solved locally. And he says something that a lot of people in the Senate, they listen, but they don't hear. They will not understand what this man is saying. This man is saying that what is an Igbo man doing as a DPO in Yoruba land? You don't know the bush. You don't know anywhere. What is an Hausa man doing in Igbo land? You don't know anywhere. You can't police anywhere. You know, policing is local. Everything is local. Government is local. And that is why we agitate for the separation of Nigeria. We want Nigeria to separate so that government will be local. Everything will be local. And if you talk like this, some people will say, oh, but we have local government. We have state government. The local government, are you doing an election? Is it not appointment? Local government, we are not doing an election. It's just an appointment. They are appointing people into the seat and so on and so forth. Now, apart from that, let us think about, the state government. The federal government are now manipulating everything. So we don't have a nation. There is nothing like a country. There's nothing like a government. So that is the most pathetic part of everything, Nigeria is heading to nowhere. And thank God that you're watching me, you already know where Nigeria is going. Everything we are doing is just trying and error. We know it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Have you ever seen every year, any year at all, that Nigeria becomes more better? Absolutely no. I have not seen it. So that is an indication to tell you that there is no headway at all. There is no headway. There is nothing that we have not done to make sure that people who are causing insecurity in Nigeria will be brought to book. But we discovered that these people are still the government. These people are still the government leading us. So there is no need, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, there is nothing that is going to change. It's not going to change. So what is the essence of trying to kill yourself? So let everybody start preparing, because one day it is going to explode. There is no two ways about it. It's going to explode. So thanks everyone for joining me tonight. I really appreciate your time. This program was scheduled for an hour. I think we are 25 minutes ahead. All right, let me see if I can see everyone here. Gabriel Isaac said, good evening, Mazi. Thanks for joining. Voice of the Voiceless. Kingsley Dons. Goody. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Prince Egu. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, Flora. Emmanuel Chika. Vikobi. Gode Clement Ikegbu. Uche Bright. Ayonde, Starry Pride. Eino, and so many other people. Thanks for joining. Joseph Bishop, Kingsley Dons, Vazi Viable, Sediokba Mabando, Diokba Imeke. Thanks everyone. I really appreciate you people's time. I know you're supposed to be sleeping or you're supposed to be doing all that, but you see, it's important we pass this information to people to know what is going on. As I used to say, you see, if you are following us on this platform, there is nothing evil that will happen in Nigeria without you having the first-hand information. You have the information so that when it happens, you will not say, oh, I'm surprised this thing is happening, because we bring information here before it happens. We bring news here before it happens. And we'll continue to do that. There is no going back about it. Because we cannot continue to pretend. You cannot continue to live in a falsehood. Every falsehood have a price, and Nigeria is paying the price of falsehood. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Do well to join me tomorrow as well, and have a nice evening.
God is very important. Who started the Boko Haram crisis in Borno State? A governor, Modu Ali Sharif, addressed the press 2 days ago and attempted to insult the collective intelligence and memory of Nigerians by denying any links with the dangerous, dreaded Boko Haram sect. I did reply him yesterday, and I'm expecting him to sue me, because he said he wanted to sue an Australian. You don't need to go to Australia. What you are looking for in Sokoto is in the pocket of your Sokoto. I'm ready to join issues with him, because not only did he sponsor that organization by providing funds for them, in 2003, he had a deal with the Boko Haram sect to get him to win the election. And if he won his re-election, he will compensate the organization. When he won that election, he appointed Alhaji Bugu Foyle as the Commissioner for Religious Affairs to implement Sharia in that state. When the man attended the first Executive Council meeting, he discovered that they were all talking about contracts and how to steal money. So he went back to the camp, the Boko Haram camp, and said, where you send me to is Gida Barawi, the house of thieves. I can no longer be part of them. So he was asked to resign. And that was how Foyle resigned from the government of Mutu Sharif. So to say that you don't know them is the greatest lie. I was just reminded this morning by somebody from Borno State that something was missing in my press statement. That in 2013, 2012, October 10, Alhaji Mutu Sharif was arrested in Cameroon on grounds of his Boko Haram connection. But the government here pleaded with the Cameroonian authorities to release him, because he's a big man here. He cannot be arrested. But 2 weeks ago, a special envoy of President Goodluck Jonathan, Reverend Stephen Singh Davis, told the whole world that Alhaji Sharif, the former chief of army staff, Ian Jerika, and some senior officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria have been funding the Boko Haram sect. Up till now, the government has not reacted to this very important information. So when you are looking for the sponsors of Boko Haram, I think we now know where they are. But what is very disturbing is the fact that currently Nigerian soldiers are refusing to fight. A part of Nigeria has been annexed by the Boko Haram sect, and they have named the place the Caliphate Republic. As of this morning, not less than 10,000 Nigerians are in Cameroon as refugees. They've left their homes, and we want to warn both the APC and the PDP, the two ruling parties in Nigeria, dominant parties, to stop politicizing the Boko Haram menace. What is required on the part of all of us is to unite and fight this dangerous phenomenon. But to start pointing accusing fingers because a former member of the APC has now moved to the PDP where he rightly belongs. When he was with you, he was not a Boko Haram sponsor. Now that he has left back, he's gone back to PDP, he has suddenly we need not run away from the fact that more than ever before in the history of our nation, this is the worst instability we are facing. In fact, this is worse than the Civil War. Mr. President, the solution is very simple. Today, there are a lot of misgivings, a lot of misinterpretations of what is happening. Some people believe some people in government are supporting this move. Some people believe some people sponsor those who are destabilizing our nation within the country. The answer is very simple. We cannot pretend that we are capable of confronting the situation in our hands. America, as powerful as they are, when the pandemic came, got to a point that China had to come, they came to their rescue. We shouldn't pretend that we needed foreign support now. Let nobody deceive us, Mr. President. A lot of billions of naira have been put for this security services. Nothing is coming out of it. We wouldn't wait until our nation gets formed. Let us shout and call for foreign support. I am a APC man and I've been supporting my party. But the president should get to know that it has gotten to a point that we who are supporters, who are members of the APC, we can no longer keep quiet. The president must rise to the occasion. You know why I say we you not see the truth and you are afraid to say that? We must open, Mr. President. The nation is on fire. The president must rise to the occasion. It costs us nothing to get foreign support. We must rise to the occasion. We must bring in people to save this country, or else we will be consumed. Every one of us will have a chapter for history. Whenever the history of this period will be written, whatever is our position, we have a chapter. We cannot keep quiet any longer. It has gotten to a point that we cannot sleep with our two eyes closed. We are not free. Our children are not free. The president must rise to the occasion. There is no nation that is so powerful that doesn't need support of other nations. Individuals cannot say you will leave the war without any other person with you. So we must rise. The situation is our security system has collapsed. It has failed. And because it has failed, we need to look for foreign support. It costs Nigeria nothing. Forget the ego, forget the superiority of Nigeria in African nation. Today, we are facing serious problems. If our nation is to survive this period, I'm not in doubt that the security architecture we have today cannot cope with what we are facing. Every part of this country is threatened. From the north to the south, nobody is safe. Nobody can travel 50 kilometers in our nation. I feel like shedding tears for a country that we grew up, where nobody harass you when you travel from Lagos to Maduguri. I done it in time past. Today I cannot travel from here to Kaduna to Niger State where I was born. The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation. This is my position, Mr. President. We must rise to it. They are killing people in the east, in the west, in the south, in the north. We should shut down the National Assembly. Let's shut down. If we cannot save this country, we stay in our homes. Our country is bleeding. People are in poverty. There's no food. People are hungry. Insecurity is threatening us. We cannot pretend. It's better we are not here. That's for next thing that here. People are dying. Every day Nigerians are dying. We must rise to the occasion.
Taraba is a mini state. It's a mini Nigeria composed of various ethnic groups living together reasonably peacefully. But the peace in this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and, of course, in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
And now we switch gears to security matters. A recent document alleging security payments to bandit leaders by the Zamfara state government has continued to generate reactions. The letter, which is widely being circulated via several social media platforms, claims the Zamfara state government has earmarked millions to be paid to several bandit leaders as part of an approach to addressing the escalating insecurity situation in the state. And now to discuss this, we're joined by security expert Catch Ononuju. Catch, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you for doing this with us. First of all, let's just take it a bit back and help us give a bit of historical context of banditry and government responses in Zamfara State. How credible is the allegation of payments to bandit leaders? Are there any previous instances or patterns that support or contradict this claim?
Right now that everybody's complaining about is not a new problem. I want to tell the world that I believe the Nigerian government has failed in its quest to actually look after the local people. This is not a new problem. This problem has been here for a very long time. President Buhari has tried about 7 different schemes to try and actually gain land to resettle this displaced refugees who came in from Mali, Central African Republic, Burkina Faso, and other countries. But he did not gain any positive results. And so I believe now that we have come back again under President Tinubu, if Tinubu does not solve it properly, you will see is this random killing every day by the Fulani refugees who are seeking for land. And I don't think this is the right way to gain land in any West African country. That's why I believe the leaders failed. If they were never able to resettle the Fulani refugees in Central Mali or Central African Republic, and they came to Nigeria, this is what we're now having. They are being forced to kill in order to gain land to resettle themselves by force. This is not a way to run a country. I think this is wrong. We must take initiative to save the households.
I'm going Catch.
This can't continue.
Catch, I'm going to ask you again because you didn't answer my earlier questions. With historical context, how credible is this allegation of payments to bandits? Have there been any previous instances or patterns that sort of support or contradict this claim? Yes or no?
Yes. To bandits was a strategy adopted by the Buhari administration to keep the Fulani militiamen on, because the militia people needed money. And that's payment by government to them, initiated by President Buhari, was the original way to give them money. If you don't give them money directly, they will engage in kidnappings.
All right.
And the Nigerian government didn't like kidnappings as a way. Remember, the schools in Kankara, the payment to them, all those were arranged. They mass kidnapping of youth, and then the subsequent kidnapping, the payments. Those payments were monies being given to these terrorists for them to augment whatever it is that they needed. But they were not able to gain this trust of the government who were giving them money, because no matter how much money you give them, they will always renege on agreements. And that's why the government stopped paying them.
Catch, let me ask you, right? You just said that there's some sort of truth to these claims. So what are the potential policy implications for Zamfara state government and the federal government? How might such payments affect...
The governors have collectively said they will no more pay these damn terrorists. The more you pay them, the more you strengthen them, the more they buy new weapons, the more they buy new logistics. Don't pay them. Let them go back to their country. We cannot continue to live like this,
now,
as if we are living under, this illegal arrangement. It's just not paying the country.
Yeah.
So I agree that the governors should say no, even if they've ever done it tonight. Now that Buhari is gone, nobody will be killed. I don't think that the Tinubu administration has the same kind of mind share as the Buhari administration. So let us try to save the farmers. Now you're seeing from not paying them, they now don't want the farmers back to their land. So there's no famine. And that has forced food insecurity across Nigeria. Even they will not even allow them to go and harvest. This is the problem. Once you start paying terrorists, you can never stop. So the right thing is, Nigeria needs a proper policy to actually go against these people. It's been done in Burkina Faso, it's been done in Senegal, it's been done in Mali, it's been done in Niger. Why is the Nigerian government still embracing terrorists?
Now,
this is wrong.
Okay, catch.
I believe what is happening to the Hausas under our watch is a shameful thing, to say the least. The Hausas should not be allowed to suffer the way we allow them to suffer. This is unfair. All their land, right from Katsina to
In trying to remove Jonathan, there were stateless persons that were from the Sahel region that were imported into Nigeria, and a former chairman of PDP made that statement. I'm not the person that made it.
But that importation is a fact, is it?
That importation is a fact. What has happened in Nigeria is that most of the time when something comes up today, we never sit back and say, how did we get to this point? We got to this point by virtue of the fact of the effort to remove President Jonathan. There had always been this herder-farmer clash, but it never got to this point where whole communities were exterminated so that some people will be roaming freely within their land, which is what happens in Plateau and in Benue State.
I think Benue is the worst hit.
Precisely. Yeah. And you know why? Because most of the banks of the Benue is lush. Because it's watered by the Benue River. And so these people came and they want. And who are these people? And that's a question that we have not dealt with. The bill first said that we have to confine these people to the ranches within their states of origin. And somebody woke up and said, no, every Nigerian has a right to go around. There's no such thing like a state of origin. Why will anybody make that statement? Reason is that in trying to remove Jonathan, there were stateless persons that were from the Sahel region that were imported into Nigeria, and a former chairman of PDP made that statement. I'm not the person that made it.
But that importation is a fact, is it?
That importation is a fact. If you ask any Nigerian Fulani, he will tell you that there's something called the Bororo Fulani. And that Bororo Fulani are these imported ones. They don't own land. Therefore, what they want to do is to settle in Nigeria. They were given free passage, let me just say it, by the Buhari regime. And we were shouting at that time, don't bring people into Nigeria who are not Nigerians. They won't have sympathy. They won't know what has happened. All they want to do is displace you, take over your place, and roam freely within that place.
But there were cattle herders as well.
They were, but the Nigerian cattle herders were not carrying AK-47 rifles and other.
So these guys brought their guns with them.
So these guys brought their guns with them. First thing they did was to start to rustle the cattle belonging to Nigerians. And so a Nigerian herder who loses his cattle, has nowhere else to go, he becomes part of them. Because he is given, okay, you either join us or you got nothing. And some of them, of course, joined. And so we have this complicated problem. And this complicated problem is what we want to solve by saying, can we confine you to a particular place? If you have, okay, what you want to do is to move your cattle from where there is grass to another place where there is grass, and you can roam around with them. And I also pointed out on the floor of the Senate that Governor Ganduje at a particular time said, my state, Kano, has more than enough land for all the herders in Nigeria to go around with it.
The farmers are running from their farm places, coming out to the town. So there's no way you can farm in the town. This is the farm that you farm so that you get enough products inside the town. But now, even next year, we're expecting that things will go more difficult because the Fulanis and herders are in the bush, chasing them outside from the farms. Most of them are just around the town, hanging around.
This is the largest yam market in the world, but it's a shadow of its former self. Located in Zakibiam town of Okum local government area of the food basket state, it once attracted customers from all over Nigeria as well as neighboring countries. Now, like its fallen signboard, the yam hub has fallen on hard times. In its heyday, it used to be a beehive of activity, welcoming yam buyers from various West African countries, from Niger, from Cameroon, from Benin Republic. They used to come from far and near. And of course, you had buyers from all over Nigeria. However, as you can see, this former beehive of activity is practically deserted. Most of the stalls are empty. And just behind the camera, you have a handful of farmers who hoarded some of their yams and have summoned up the courage to come to the market at this time. Now, what is the problem?
Everything is very hard. So like yam we used to buy 80,000 before. It's 200,000 now. It's 200,000 now. And after when you buy it 200,000, you will put another expenses. Like 100 yam, you used to put it 30,000 to reach my place. So when you check it inside in the goods, you see that everything is high.
Before, we used to buy like 100 yam. That is one heap. We bought like 50,000, 60,000, 40,000, depending the size of the yam. But now, the price have escalated to what we don't know. We are buying a heap of yam now, 500,000, 600,000. The small size now we used to buy 40,000, 300,000. So the price is too high.
Attacks by bandits have crippled food production in these areas, leaving farms deserted and fields empty. It means the market has been cut off from its supply chain.
There is insecurity issues in the area. Very much, a lot of it. The farmers are not going to the farm to do their farm works. Granite, even to plant and weed their yams products. And on the road, when they try to bring those things, those goods to the market, it's very difficult because of the attacks on the roadside.
The farmers are running from their farm places, coming out to the town. So there's no way you can farm in the town. This is the farm that you farm so that you get enough products inside the town. But now, even next year, we're expecting that things will go more difficult because the Fulanis and headers are in the bush, chasing them outside from the farms. Most of them are just around the town, hanging around.
Commercial activities in the town have also been crippled following the destruction of all 3 banks in the town. This is the result of a riot triggered by events in Ayati, one of the satellite communities of Zakibiam, about 15 kilometers away. At the start of July, some Ayati youths stormed the Ukum local government headquarters, protesting the killing of their relatives.
They carried the corpse to the local government because there was no security. So as they came to the local government, there was nobody. They waited to the gate or to 2 or 3 hours like that. There was nobody. So some people came in. People was so angry, and then other people came in. So that was bursting to the protest.
The trail of destruction includes the Ukum local government secretariat, devastated by fire. The neighboring police station and the High Court were also attacked. But the climate of violence in Ayati continues. A combination of local bandits and armed herdsmen stormed the community with a population of about 15,000 on the 8th of August, wreaking unprecedented havoc.
Anyogo, the chief bandit there, organized herdsmen, let me call them that, organized herdsmen and his own boys to punish Ayati for revealing their locations to the military. Because the military sometimes now, particularly operations in that, used to be successful in reaching them and attacking them and destroying their camps. So they went on a retaliatory mission. That is one vision. One other vision we got there was that Anyoko got money from the herdsmen to hand over the land to the leaders of the community. At the end of it, he didn't do that. And when they moved, that is when they moved in, they were asked to leave. But so they now took them in with all his boys in hundreds to ensure that the Fulani headers made their way and have the land he promised them, because he got their money, as we were told, and shared it to the chiefs in that area.
On Thursday, which was our market day, we started hearing rumors that the headmen are coming with guns and swords in larger numbers again. Then we called on the security to come to our aid again. One police officer with his boys, Mr. Danzuru, he went there, and they posted 10 mobile police members who are in the village with us. But the bandits that came with cutlasses and guns, Fulani mixed with These bad boys, they outnumbered them. Over 400 militants invaded our village. They surrounded our village just in no time. We started hearing gunshots. They killed people.
More than 60 residents have been confirmed dead. There are still more suspected casualties yet to be recovered.
Up to now, they are picking people in the bush. You know this bullet, when they hit a person, sometimes you run with madness. You run as if you are mad. They run as they are possessed, they will go and die. So they are still picking people in the bush. Some people that died, they started rotting, so they're just covering them now.
After the massacre killing, we just run out of the village. The village is just like that. Nobody has made a mass burial there. Some families have buried their relations, and most of the corpses are lying in the mortuary now. And others in the bush, we are yet to pick them because of lack of security.
Not a sign of life. All doors under lock and key. The only sign of life is the domestic animals, a handful of them left behind by their fleeing owners. That's the story of Ayati community. That's the mystery of this place that's now a ghost town. And it's the question that has to be answered by the authorities of the Benue state government. What is the fate of Ayati community in the not too distant future? Arise News could find no evidence of any security presence in the deserted town, but the security advisor insists that forces are there, just out of sight.
When I was there, we saw security men, soldiers were there, and policemen in numbers, and the community volunteer guards as they are now. And when I called the officers, military officers, they told me that people were there and they would get their grade references and send to me if I needed them to prove that they were on ground. So if they were not in the main town, they were in the surrounding areas, so that they will not be taken on the west within the town. That might be a different thing.
There are many scars left behind from that attack. Farms trampled by cattle, houses burned down, and the fields left unattended, even though it's harvest season. The farmers who should be looking after the crops have been forced to flee.
They destroyed all our farms around our village there. The surrounding village, they all destroy everything. They burnt houses, they destroy our yam farms, they destroy our groundnut farms, rice farms. There is no farm, we have no cassava farm in our area again.
The desolation extends across a radius of 20 kilometers, with homesteads and farms deserted by residents of Ayati and its neighboring settlements. They were all suppliers of yams to the market in Zakibiam. Gunmen continue their reign of terror, repeatedly proving elusive to security forces. The concern now is, if the food basket of Nigeria is in crisis, the whole country could soon be feeling the effects. Charles Eruka, Arise News, Benue State.